Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang. I am Beccatobin here with jacvanek and keltieknight.
Hello.
We're three talking heads.
We changed
This is
recording
funny of
programs,
you.
and now our big heads are just beside each other and we look like bobbleheads. And I can't talk because I fucking got a lip flip because you bitches told me to, and now I can't talk correctly or drink out of a straw. I brought a straw so that I can show everyone what it's like to get a lip flip.
It takes a little bit, but it's really not long. It's not that long while you're slightly compromised. It wears off pretty quickly.
Mine, I feel like never really hit at all. Yeah. There was like a couple days where drinking out of a straw was weird and then it just went away.
But I think your upper lip looks good.
Thank you.
So I think it did something.
Maybe.
Look at us. We're so vapid. Why are you guys here listening to us? Anyways, I think it's time for
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
Would anyone like to kick us off?
I'll go. My good week is I got recognized in the most random way to date. Like there has been a time where somebody recognized Jared and I in a CVS only from
that was an
Jared's
incredible
hair growing out video
game.
on TikTok. Like they had no idea who we were. It was amazing. So this is the new way that I got recognized. So I was at the doctor's and I was like talking to one of like the ladies in the reception area, and she goes to me, she's like, "What year were you born?" And I was like, 1987. Why? And she was like, "Do you have a TikTok?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Did you make a video about a grandma born in 1987? I did this video. It was like a stitch of this gal that was our age that had a granddaughter already. And I stitched it being like, I'm just a baby. Like, I can't be a grandma at this age. And it's literally been my most viral video ever, which is so stupid. But that's how she recognized me. Had no idea who I was, didn't know anything, recognized me from my voice from that video.
Did she
Wow.
let you get
The
out
voice
of
of a
that
generation.
clinic
Jack
without
Vanek.
showing both sides of your insurance card that you show literally every time you come? But why? Who travels with it? You have to look it up on the website. You got to send it to the email,
You still gotta do it.
westwomenshealthclub@gmail.com. Babe, hasn't changed in 10 years. Leave me alone.
Unfortunately, you know what? Influencers don't really work in the healthcare system.
God
So
damn it.
I still had to do the whole damn thing. So, but that was my most random way to date. And I really liked it because I love when people don't have any clue who I am, but they just know it from like some random video that has no relevance to my life.
So this woman that's a grandmother must have had a daughter as like what? So she would have had to be like 16-ish?
I think they're, both like teenage
Like young.
situations.
Okay.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
fact that like I could be a grandmother right now really throws me off, even though
Yeah.
I'm not even ready to be a mom yet. So
Well,
that's
the
crazy.
average age of like when my mom was born, the average age of like your grandparents was like 40.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
it's
when my mom
insane.
was born, her grandmother was 40. So I'm pretty much close.
Oh, what's it like to have
That
grandparents,
capability.
guys?
It's shocking.
Thanks for bringing that
It
up.
hurts me. It hurts my soul.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have
Well,
any.
I only have one left. I mean,
Wow, this is getting so
be
dark.
honest.
Okay. What's
We're
your bad
getting to that
week?
age that they're not
Yeah.
really around anymore.
dark.
Okay, my bad week is, so we're using this new software. It's really cool. Hopefully, we're going to have like fun social clips because we're doing this episode remote, but we want to still be able to like show our gorgeous faces. Mine's not gorgeous right now, but my bad week is that Jared is listening in live because he is like producing the podcast. And when we were talking about this earlier, he's like, "You are not allowed to talk about any ex-boyfriends or any guys you've slept with in this episode," because
It's
he's
a no fun zone today
in
at the
real
Lady
time
Gang.
and probably fuming. So usually he just like edits later and I can be like, oopsies.
I mean, honestly,
but
my
now
bad week is
he's
I know
listening
you're at
as
your
we go
parents' house
along.
is that lamp.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jared.
Like we've got to go to Home Goods.
I know. There's some, my parents have some really good decor, and then there's
Like
some of
I
these
feel like
things
I
I'm
could take
still
that
from
and
the
paint
90s.
it with like a nice
Yeah.
chalk paint and like really take it. But like every parent has that. My mom is the queen of tchotchkes. Our whole
Oh.
house, when I went home for
Ooh.
Christmas, I was like, I
Jack.
forgot how many live, laugh, love sounds you can have.
Oh, well, that's Jared's mom. They have a cabin up north in Arizona, and I think I counted 40 different live, laugh, love-ish signs, like Hobby Lobby. It was amazing.
I would like it if you did a series while you're spending so much time at your parents' house of like taking my parents
Millennium.
into the turn of the new, what's it called, century.
Millennium.
Like, you can just do little tiny things, little projects here and there, and I would watch
Ooh.
that series because that would be really fun.
Like update, like I can put some spackle or something on this lamp back here or something like that.
Like, update my parents' house.
Ooh.
Here's your budget. Go. Is this a show?
I love this.
I hate
I
when we
love
come
this
up with
idea.
ideas we're never going to execute on this. But
Get
No,
300
I'll make
views
like
and
one
it's over,
TikTok and
you're
then
like,
I'll forget about
back
it.
to
fun to try. That's all right.
teenage grandmas.
Yeah, because that's what works.
Okay, I'll go next. My good week is that, so we've had 2 pretty staple employees at the LadyGang over the years. You guys all know Chelsea. She was on tour with us. She's just been with us since really being an intern for Kelty many moons ago. And we loved her so much, we just kept her. And then Alex, who was the Wizard of Oz. She was the Wizard of Oz when it came to LadyGang, like the person behind the curtain.
Barely.
I can't believe we are still standing that she has left us.
It was a scary departure for her, for sure.
Ooh, it was touch and go for a while. We didn't know if we could do this without her. However, in the last, 6 months, I would like to pat myself on the back and say that I have been crowned by Alex and Chelsea as the fairy job mother, because I am responsible for both of the girls where they are now in their new jobs. Listen, they did get there on their own account because we are not the first people to discover their wonderfulness.
Yeah.
But I did create the bridge between the 2 jobs, and I'm just very, it's like that meme where how do people talk about you when you're not in the room? The women who bring up your names in the rooms that you're not in. I just would like to say, of all the awful things I've said and done in the years of LadyGang, this is my redeeming quality, everybody. I do care about people's futures, even when they're not on our payroll.
Well, a letter of recommendation is like the one thing that's going to get you in the door. So
That's
true. What you did.
It's true. I went hunting because I knew it was a really tough time out there for Alex because she wanted to get back into TV, which is a dying art form. And those jobs are really hard to get and they're so few. And I went, I pretty much went out of my way to send 8 million text messages to anybody that I knew who might have a job in TV right now. So I feel very happy. My bad week is that I went to a wedding recently, and beautiful wedding. And we sit down for the ceremony. And as we do as millennials, we have a friend officiate our weddings. A lot of people, that's the thing we do. Jack did
I had
it.
Chris's
I did it.
aunt,
Kelsey, did
but
you have
like
a friend?
a friend, yeah.
Christina?
Not a professional.
Okay. Yeah. So we go.
Yeah.
Right. Not like a
pastor.
minister. Right. So this guy gets up and he's got kind of a cool vibe. He reminds me of who's the main older gentleman in Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis something?
I think he's Dennis in Stranger Things. I think that's his character's name.
He's like a very famous actor, so shame on me. But this guy had kind of that vibe, and he was the high school friend of the bride. I had never met him because we were really close with the groom. And the ceremony begins, and it was like watching somebody do stand-up in slow motion. And there were good jokes. The delivery was so odd. And I was like, maybe this guy is just sort of like, that's his thing. He's a little off. His timing's off. It's a little inappropriate, some of the things he was saying. And it went on for a very long time. And he said some things that got gradually a little bit more inappropriate and he made it very himself-centric. Like he brought in a lot about himself.
No,
and I just thought, this
100%.
is sort of the one thing you don't do when you officiate someone's wedding.
Rule number 1.
Well, we found out, so before the ceremony started, it started to drizzle a little bit. So there was like a 20-minute delay. We sat down and the drizzle came, and then we had to run under the cover and wait about 20 to 30 minutes. He's scared of rain. So we found out like an hour after the ceremony, no, he had taken mushrooms before, was trying to time it so that the mushrooms would really hit him after his job. But the rain delay made it so that he was peak mushroom highness. And he was officiating this ceremony. And I was so upset for the bride and groom because it wasn't one of those moments where it's like, oh, this is awkward, but like we're moving on. It was like a stopped everything in its tracks and was like, what the is happening? And why would you ask this person to be your officiant? Come to find out, he's probably wonderful sober. But yeah, time your mushrooms appropriately.
When was it during the night that you found that like the collective found out that he was on mushrooms?
It was about an hour
Everyone was,
later
like,
because
wide-eyed,
it was
right?
the thing during cocktail hour
Yeah.
after the ceremony. No one could stop talking about it. We were
Yeah.
like, that was crazy. That was
Wait,
wild.
what time was this?
It was
Like what time was the ceremony?
Maybe a 4 o'clock
Okay,
something.
so you're like midday. Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody came up and they were like, so the officiant. And it was like one of those crowds that really enjoys a, recreational fun drug. And I get it.
You know what,
but
though?
be
You don't get to have
responsible.
fun if you're officiating. You're
No.
a job.
No.
Yeah.
It's not a fun time.
Very
If you
irresponsible.
wanted to take mushrooms at this wedding, you should have said, I'm not available to officiate because I'll be in the corner high as a kite.
Exactly. It's kind of like
Or
when
take
I
it as
do-
the couple is kissing, when your
Yes.
job is officially over.
Right. Also, like, are you so desperate for your mushrooms to hit that you have to time them within 30 minutes? Like, you
Yeah.
couldn't, like, it's going to be a long night. Like, you're fine if you get through cocktail hour sober and then at dinner they hit. Like,
Yeah,
come
like
on,
a 30-minute
Jim.
delay, you're going to be okay.
the thought of 30 minutes of sobriety was obviously too much for him. So yeah, that was it.
Wow.
Sometimes it is.
Damn. Weddings.
him.
Weddings, man.
Poor guy.
Weddings, man. Okay, well, I have like a triple good week, bad week, but I'm going to just begin with this.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, she's doing a
Have you guys
visual.
describe it?
In case you
I
guys
thought
are
you were
wondering.
showing us the cup.
I'm showing you. Well, first of all, this could be a good week. Look at this baby. I never get roped in to like Starbucks merch. Anyway, I got this. It's like so beautiful. Here I am. I want you to describe it. This is what it's like to drink with a straw and a lip flip.
You look stupid.
The top lip kind of goes over the
doesn't
bottom
close.
lip.
You can't
and
purse
there's
your lips.
You can't purse your lips.
But I want to say something that's more important than this lip flip. You were not supposed to buy anything new. You were supposed to use what you had this year.
I've
So-
had this since last year.
Okay. All right.
This was
Okay.
December. This
Okay.
came with me to Vietnam.
It came last minute, December 31st, it came in.
The amount of shit that I bought on December 31st, knowing I wasn't.
She
And so
binged.
January hasn't been that hard because packages have been arriving.
Wow.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
going to be
That's how to get
February
through
when
it.
the
For those
desert.
of you who don't know, we're using what we have in 2024. We're not buying new things. So we're.
I did not agree to this, so that's just you guys.
Not at all.
I mean, I actually technically haven't bought anything this month really at all. So I guess I'm accidentally doing it.
Okay.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you about my good week, bad week. Hold on. That wasn't it. That was just like for fun. Hold on.
Show and tell.
Yeah. Okay.
On a podcast.
So I need to discuss with you the amount of time I am spending. This is my bad week / good week. The amount of time that I am spending on TikTok invested in the 9-month world cruise.
Oh my God. I know.
This content is, why didn't we think of this? First of all, this is the below deck. Who are you? 9-month cruise. Becca is wide. She's no idea. So
I
I'm going
don't
to
spend
explain
time
it.
on TikTok. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So there's a Royal Caribbean cruise, and it was basically cheaper to live on the cruise ship for the year than to pay your rent.
I mean, that's not true. I think the cruise cost like $90,000, but
But like, it was
So,
a
like,
pretty good deal
not even close.
for like, right. Okay.
$90,000.
I don't think it's that much.
it
Jack.
might have been 70, but it's something like that. It's something almost that high.
There's a cruise that basically goes, and for 9 months, you're living on the cruise ship. You get on, you never get off. And so many people are going, and you go around the entire world. But what's crazy about it is that these are cruisers, okay?
Mhm.
Number one, they understand that all the walls of a cruise ship, there's no drywall on a cruise ship. It's all steel, which I knew from working on a cruise ship. So they come in and they're like, get my room ready with me for the 9-month cruise. And they have brought every Target magnet, little tiny hooks. And they're like, here's where I hook my purses. And they've essentially taken this very boring stateroom and they have remade it into these like incredible capsules of storage and makeup brushes. And like, it's so insane.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is that Royal Caribbean, Smarties, they got influencers to go, but the influencers only go for like 2 weeks at a time. So the influencers go on and they experience a 9-month cruise and they're like, this shit's batshit crazy. And then, okay, also 9-month cruise. They already ran out of wine. So like the first week we're on the cruise, we see everyone setting up and we're like, whatever. But these people are like, there's nothing to do all day. So they get on TikTok and they're like, we have to tell you they've run out of wine, blah, blah. Anyway, so now we're at the stage of 9-month cruise. I think we're like 4 weeks in where all of the 9-monthers are just starting to fight with each other. The sides have been picked. It's basically a war on the seas.
How do
I
they
did
not
not
have a reality show going right now?
This
is the type of petty drama that I am so into.
Yeah.
It's like
All I
so
want in
random,
my life.
so random. I know nobody, they're not celebrities. Like this is the way that I want my drama given to me.
It's like Jim, I don't know why Jim is my word today, but like Jim has always the same seat at the pool and Mary has now taken it. And it's like
and they're
know,
TikToking about it.
What is the
TikTok
average age of the passenger?
It's
They're
older.
But there's some younger people on there too.
And those are the influencers. So can you imagine? It was me, it's literally me at my Vietnam trip, which I stayed next door to a Disneyland, which I did not know I was doing. I'm an elder and I just want peace, quiet, books, sex. And what did I get? Screaming children. Can you imagine if you spent all this money to go on the 9-month cruise and you're like, I just want to cruise around and see Europe. And then some Instagrammer or influencer with a tripod comes by and they want to rage?
I did see a TikTok meetup of all the influencers that were on the cruise. There were some older people, but I was on Stassi's podcast recently and we were talking about like, what's the next, like what do we do now? Like the influencer is dying. Like what's next? And I was like, you got to find something like being like a cruise TikToker. Like that's what people are following is these
micro-influencer.
Is these in Royal Caribbean 9-month cruise TikTokers. Like that's the way.
There it
This
is.
is wild.
I love it.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about more shit going on. Allegedly, what's is happening? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Lady Gang. I have terrible, terrible, terrible news for the Lady Gang.
What?
A series of events that has happened that we need to discuss. So, since we've been together, Jeremy Allen White's Calvin Klein campaign came out, okay? And everyone was like, do you know what this is, Jack?
No, I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. Jeremy Allen White's the star of The Bear. And he's the latest hot guy in Hollywood. And he did a Calvin Klein campaign. He's naked. He's like lifting his arms above his head. He's looking great. A belly button, nowhere to be seen. But like he is looking fantastic. And I watched The Bear. I was obsessed with him. And I was like, this is my celebrity crush. I love Jeremy Allen White. Well, I was recently at the Critics' Choice Awards this week. First of all, Jeremy Allen White is not doing press, which it's fine. I know why you're not doing press. And it's the same reason Bruno Mars doesn't do press. He's a tiny, tiny man.
No, he's not doing press because he's in the middle of a nasty divorce, Kelty. It's not his height. You fucking idiot.
Are you sure?
Are you kidding me? There's no mystery how tall he is. If he walks a red carpet at an award show, the jig is up. Like every meme is about Jeremy being like 5'4". Like there's not like we can't do press. God forbid he stands next to keltieknight and everyone knows how tall Kelty is and they're gonna do it the math and they're gonna see that he's like you're an idiot.
Just because he's like not talking, you can see the height without talking.
You can see the height in that Calvin Klein ad.
I think because
he's a small man. Like as somebody who also, listen, I'm not discriminating. I'm a small woman. If you put me on a billboard in my underwear, people would be like, I don't need any reference of size reference. That's a short person. Look at her legs. Like look at those little tiny little stumpy legs. That's Jeremy. That's not why he's not getting press.
That is so funny. Wait, but can we go back to Bruno Mars? Is that a fact or did you just make that up?
She made that up.
I made that up.
She's such an idiot.
Well, he's never done
this
press.
Is discrimination, and also
it
it's
is
like
discrimination.
You know what?
Sorry.
I hope people come for you. You don't
No,
deserve
people are
him.
gonna come
You
for
don't
me.
deserve him to be your hall pass. You can't even appreciate
He's
him.
not my hall pass
You're
anymore.
starting rumors.
I want to denounce him. I'm denouncing
because
him
of his
as my
height
hall
or
pass.
his inability
because he's
to do
short.
press.
Both. No, I knew he was smaller.
We've
Okay,
talked
I
about
knew
him being short on this podcast before.
100%, and I knew he was short. I did not realize that I would eat that man alive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would be, I mean, this is so inappropriate, but this is LadyGang. I would be riding him and my legs would be triple the size of him.
Yeah.
He walked by me at Critics' Choice.
He's got muscles. It's not like he's like dinky. I think.
He's
very,
very
he's like an Oppenheim brother.
He's a very small human.
Yes.
That small?
He's very small.
Yes.
Like,
Wait, I want to see what his height says.
Anyway,
it's
he's so hot and he's so fucking talented and like everyone is going to sleep with him. So he's not having any problems.
His height on
And he's-
Google says 5'7". So.
Here's an example for you. Addison, his ex-wife, is 5'1". She's so tiny. This is them next to each other.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
3 inches taller.
Who is his ex-wife? Just a rando?
She's an actress and she's stunning, beautiful, also very talented. And I am actually manifesting. I want her to have some big moment coming up because, you know,
That sucks.
it would really suck dick to
Ugh.
be in a relationship for a very long time with the same guy and then go through what seems to be allegedly a nasty divorce, and then for him to become a heartthrob of Hollywood who is, no offense, the most surprising to be the heartthrob of Hollywood. Like, very much, that's a curveball. And
It's
for
not
her
a
to be
Jason
like,
Momoa
I love that
situation, you know?
tiny Birdman looking person for years, and now he's blowing up. Like, what?
But I feel like this happens all the time in Hollywood.
Every time.
Like,
Yeah,
it's so
every
disgusting
time.
because it's so like typical man where it's like, oh, now I made it. I'm going to go get myself a fucking Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And it's disgusting because I'm sorry. I love Margot Robbie. I think she's talented. I think she's doing amazing things in Hollywood. She's stunning. But like, I'm ready to see someone, the equivalent of Jeremy as a woman, become the big, huge star that everyone wants to put in underwear ads. Like, where is she? Where's that odd looking woman that we're all going to start having talent crushes over and then trick our brains into thinking she's the most beautiful person on planet Earth? Hasn't happened.
I mean,
No, it's
the
true.
patriarchy.
And then, and my one last comment is I had this very crazy situation because I was interviewing Bradley Cooper when Jeremy Allen White was walking by. So and Bradley Cooper is exotic in his like
Personality.
He's
eccentric.
like
What does
he's
that
like
mean?
a real he's a
Eccentric.
real actor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my God, it was so cute when your kid like sat down on the red carpet at your premiere and started coloring. He's like, I know, very cute. She was very excited to see the film. And I was like, was she excited to see the film, Bradley? She's 4. Like, calm down. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he's like almost like a me. Like, he just like lives in the like he turned the robot on and now
Powering down.
Yeah.
which is totally fine and I absolutely get. But he's gorgeous, you know. He's tall and his eyes are so blue. And then I saw Jeremy and I was like, you know, we've done something here and I'm not sure we can take it back. I love the bear. It was so good. I love all the
we can take it.
We can go back.
We can't. But I bring this up because the amount of lady gangers
Pandora's
that
box
sent me
has
the Calvin,
opened.
the amount
Bruno
of lady
Mars
gangers
is coming back.
Bruno Mars is here. The amount, it's like when Justin Bieber, was it Bruno Mars or Justin Bieber played at the Victoria's Secret fashion show and they put him on like a box
I think
to
it was
sing
Bruno
the song.
Mars.
No, that happened.
No, I know.
It's not a rumor.
I know.
He was like,
I'm sure.
normally Maroon 5. Anyway, I'm done short shaming. I'm so sorry. I have slept with many short, tiny men and it's fine. And sometimes they have huge penises. So I'm just letting you know, like, God is fair. Anyway, my point being is that when the Jeremy Allen White thing came out, so many LadyGangers sent it to me because I had said he was my celebrity crush. And I just want to, this whole point was to clear the air. I'm not feeling the feels anymore. I will be on the lookout for a new celebrity crush.
I love this for you.
Congrats.
Speaking of short kings, Selena Gomez has a new boyfriend, Benny Blanco. They went to the Emmys together. He did not walk the carpet with her. She looked freaking amazing.
Yeah,
One of the
she's
best
been
looks
looking
I've
great.
ever seen her wear. I wouldn't have put the necklace on, but I make mistakes too. She looked freaking amazing. So good. Benny was there. I decided to do a quick Google of Benny Blanco's net worth.
Oh, he's probably so rich.
60 million.
Oh yeah. No, he's written like
But
some of the
she's
biggest
still
pop
richer than him.
songs. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But like,
This is what I like about the situation. Number one, they've been friends forever because he was writing songs with Justin, also friends with Justin Bieber. I love the power move of dating somebody that's friends with your ex. And he is super fucking funny. Like, you got to end up with the funny guy. He's not like the hottest guy I've ever seen in my life, but like, that's the guy. I don't know. I like it. I like it for her.
he's got swag.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got swag.
He wore a trench coat to the Emmys.
I am more
I love that.
interested in the drama that happened with Kendall or Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet,
Ugh,
and then Taylor Swift and
and
Selena
Kylie.
Gomez, and they like were kind of talking. No, like those mouth readers were essentially saying that Selena went over to Taylor Swift and was like, Kylie wouldn't let Timothy take a picture with me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she was saying. But
That's what I would have said.
yeah,
I would've talked shit at
the
that
lip
table.
reading really proved that might have been
Yes.
what was said.
and
Yeah.
then Selena was like, no, I was telling her about two of my friends who had hooked up or something. Like, some like
That's what I would say too. That's
cover
the
up.
lie I
Yes.
would tell
But
too.
then everybody's like, oh my God, what if that's true? And it was about
Timothy hooking
Meryl
up.
Streep? No, and somebody. It was like
Meryl Streep.
No, it was. And
Her friend Meryl Streep.
Martin Short or something. No, it was like two
Oh,
old
'cause-
actors that
'cause
have
Meryl
been hooking up.
is now-
There's been rumors about them.
She's single now, right? Isn't Meryl Streep single now or going through some sort of
Yeah, and that's
I
what
mean,
I think
I
it
should
was.
know
I think it
this,
was her
but
and
I-
Martin Short that were like hooking up because she was in Only Murders in the Building with, or
but
whatever,
like
that show.
I don't know if I'd be like racing over to tell my friend that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I liked it.
It is cute. I hope it's true. But yeah, Kylie was like a little like the PDA that they had at that table at the Golden Globes was upsetting.
Oh my God, people were
Is it too
lip
much
reading
for
that
you?
too.
It's way too much.
I didn't
just-
mind it. I thought it was cute.
I
They
don't.
weren't like making out.
Do you know why
They were making out, Becca.
They were just like
they were talking
canoodling and like
so
talking
close, kissing?
Oh.
I think the reason
Well,
that
that's how it was when I took you to that ballet thing and we sat at the table.
But here's
It's like
the
you
difference.
don't want to meet.
Here's the difference. At the ballet thing that we went to, nobody gives a shit who we are, and there's not cameras on us at all moments.
Oh,
When you're in a position like that,
rude.
you know that every single second that you're there, there's a camera on you. So then, and my instinct, maybe I'm different from other people, but my instinct would be to kind of just hold back a bit.
Well,
'cause
And that's why you're not a Kardashian.
it's true.
that's what scares me. Well, it doesn't scare me. I'm not famous. But if you were a celebrity, anywhere you go now, like even if people can't hear what you're talking about, like the lip reading of it all, like Taylor Swift even going to these Chiefs games and she's in the box where
Yeah.
it's like a see-through window. It's like anything you say, people are going to try to
They're going to have to
figure it
start
out.
doing the thing that football coaches do on the sidelines where they hold their
Would
notebook
they-
in front and then they call the plays so that they can't lip
I
read.
would.
They're like,
Ugh.
guess who wouldn't take a picture with me? Guess who's Meryl Streep?
I swear that's what it was.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay. I like it. I was going to ask you about Timothy and Kylie, but there it is.
Mm-mm.
The other news, I have some very interesting news coming out, but I do want to talk about Saltburn. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
Becca?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm putting a pin in this. You have homework. You must watch Saltburn.
I know. I haven't had time, but
I know you haven't had
I
time.
have seen some
saying-
memes. I've seen all of the memes that I feel like I could figure it out.
Is there
It
a
is
conversation about us being brainwashed with this movie? I feel like I've heard rumblings of there being like a conspiracy about them using this movie to brainwash us, but I haven't
In
seen
like
it.
it's
way?
not good.
No, like societally that brainwashed into like some way of thinking or feeling or being. But I haven't seen
Oh,
it, so I don't know what it was. I'll have to
Oh.
I love a conspiracy
No, I mean,
theory.
I didn't feel or walk away from it with any societal thing. I just felt like
it was great.
I was not a good movie to watch with my parents over
Ew,
Christmas
gross.
when he's humping the grave and then also making out with a girl while she's on her period and he literally puts her hand inside her and takes the blood out and wipes it on her face. Like it is it's so disturbing, but it's like you can't look away. And then Rosamund Pike is like, so this woman like dies in the film, and they're like, oh, where's Margot? And they're like, oh, she died. And she's like, oh, she would do anything for attention. It's so dark comedy. Anyway, okay, let me know what you think.
Okay.
Well, and everybody, there's some bathtub scene, and like everybody.
Oh yeah, there's a bathtub scene where basically like Jacob Elordi gets out of the tub, and then Barry's character, like there's just like a little bit of water left at the like bottom of the tub, and he goes in and like,
ew, this is something I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Okay,
I won't.
well, I think you've talked about
just
all of the most
disturbing,
important moments.
No, the most important movie is that.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not trying.
You already did.
No, I
The
didn't.
bathtub water.
Well, those are the
Plot point.
most like shocking.
Doesn't tell you the
things.
story. At the end of the movie, he does a big dance scene, butt ass naked, full bush, dick flopping around to
Who?
Murder on the Dance Floor. Murder on the dance floor. Penis, 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 butt, abs, walking down the hallway, partying in the house. That was something else I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
Anyways,
Can we put that on the internet and that can be the remix? Penis, penis, ass, ass. Murder on the dance floor.
Oh my God, what's the next thing
Okay.
we're talking about?
Okay. J-Lo was at the Golden Globes, and she was this hilarious. I got to give it up to my man, Kevin Frazier. He finally did. Becca has talked about this so much that Ben looks miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, Ben is not happy.
Oh,
He
no.
looks miserable. He's so sad. There's no way. So Kevin freaking asked her on the red carpet. He's like,
Yeah, I
is
saw
Ben
that.
okay? People are he basically asked the Becca question. Is Ben okay? And she was like, it was so cute. She was like, everyone is so worried about Ben. Ben is fine. Ben is here. He's nominated. He's happy. Ben is fine. And so I don't know
Ben's
if that's the
allegedly
truth.
fine.
That's like what people who kidnap children do when asked where the children. I don't know. I haven't seen them. Last time I saw them,
They're
they seemed
fine.
fine and happy and safe. He's being held captive.
Listen, he doesn't look fine. We've talked about it so many times, but he doesn't look fine.
No,
Oh.
no.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he is arrested. I look bad anyway. Okay.
He looks so exhausted. He married a woman who won't stop drinking the Kool-Aid. He is
Mhm.
in for a lifetime of she will never be satiated, and that means his life will never get still and
Calm.
like calm.
Yeah.
And people stop giving a about actors at a certain age, and he was so close. He was so close to getting his like sunset years, of people not giving a shit what he does. And he just signed up for the rest of his life, a lifetime of people giving a shit.
No, thank you.
And Jen Garner, she's just in her kitchen in like ugly sweatpants making muffins at 6 a.m. and not caring about anything.
She's so cute.
She's the cutest. And he has to go and be Mr. Lopez.
Mm. Well, I love J-Lo, so I Mr. Lopez in a heartbeat. Okay, I want to give it up for our girl Chelsea Handler, who hosted the Critics' Choice Awards.
Crushed.
She's been on the podcast before, and what I love, I was wondering what she was going to do. So the story is, if you haven't watched these award shows this season, Joe Coy, her longtime ex, hosted the Golden Globes, which is in Hollywood the more esteemed red carpet.
Yeah.
Like, I know, and I've literally, I think I said this to Chelsea, I've been in rooms where I've been like, you guys should get Chelsea Handler, and they're like, ooh, way too polarizing, like with executives. Like, people have this feeling about her and the way she is. And so guy, new hot guy, I mean, he's huge. He plays MSG, and his stuff is really funny, and allegedly a very nice person. I've only met him a couple times. Anyway, he goes on to host the Golden Globes, which is like the premier, and in my opinion, the most important host of the year. Like, the people that have done it, Amy and Tina, Ricky Gervais, like, you don't get that kind of quality at the Oscars. The Oscars is more buttoned up. Like, the Golden Globes is really the host with the most hosts the Golden Globes. So he did it. And listen, I watched the monologue like 4 times because I was trying to see what everyone was talking about. Like, did he bomb? Was it bad? It wasn't up to the standard in which the Golden Globes has had. He didn't bomb. It wasn't amazing. I think he would probably be disappointed, and he would probably tell you that it didn't land the way he wanted it to. But during the monologue, he started, when things didn't land, he literally was like, My writer wrote that. Sorry you didn't like that one. My writer wrote that. And so it's like literally when a podcast does bad, if I was like, it was Jack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like at some point I don't think you maybe don't do that on stage. Like
Well,
it was.
I have a question because he said that he came in like 2 weeks before. Who was supposed to host it? Wasn't it supposed to be like Jimmy Kimmel or something like that?
No, the Golden Globes this year was a clusterfuck. So basically, there's been a lot of drama with the Golden Globes that I won't go into over the years with like it not being fair, them being lack of diversity, them getting bribed with trips to Paris to like make someone win. And like it was really screwed up. They've done an entire like shift in like who owns it and who runs it. But getting a TV partner for these award shows has been really hard. Like Billboard Awards wasn't even on TV this year. Like it's just harder and harder to get the money from these networks as TV is dying, you know? So the Golden Globes didn't have a network home until like the middle of December when CBS announced that they were picking it up. So when they didn't have a TV home, they were going to have the Golden Globes, but like probably not a host. You wouldn't pay to have like a host.
Right.
So I think they went down the list. A bunch of people said no. They got to Joe Coy. And I mean that with love. Like they obviously started at Ricky Gervais, you know, or Amy and Tina. And they're like, come on in. And they were like, we don't have enough time to prepare. So it's like when they try to get Armchair Expert and they're not available. And then they're like, hey, you know what? You can have the LadyGang. And we're like, we're in tomorrow, you know? So long story short, he did it and he was like, I didn't have time to prepare, whatever. Anyway, so it was not great, but he kept blaming his writers, which I thought was like just a weird out to do. Maybe when he got nervous on stage. So Chelsea hosted the Critics' Choice Awards, which is like a less revered version. It airs on the CW. It's on cable. Like it's just not as fancy. They serve pizza in a bag instead of like a full dinner. Like it's just like less. She freaking crushed her monologue. And I was wondering if she would say anything about Joy Coy. I was like, is she going to go there and like allude to it? And a joke was super funny. Like, I can't remember what the joke was. And everyone was laughing. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so glad you like it. My writers wrote that.
So good. So good.
Queen.
Zing.
I just saw a clip of her doing the joke about, did you see the movie May December?
Yes.
Okay, so it's about Julianne Moore's character plays this woman who was a teacher, or no, she owned a pet shop and she had a 7th grader working in the pet shop that she owned, and she had sex in a relationship and got pregnant with the 7th grader. So this movie is about that kind of whatever. So Chelsea Handler made a joke about, I know you were all thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio and his dating when you're watching May December or whatever. And I just thought to myself, that joke is never going to get old, because if you are Leonardo DiCaprio and you want to date 12-year-olds, allegedly 21-year-olds, then you should know that for the rest of your life, you are going to be the dirtbag who people talk about dating children.
Well, that's the thing. If he wants it to stop, he could just date an older person.
Just do it for press. Like, just prove us wrong. Make it fake. I don't care. I am just so sick of seeing that.
It's so
well,
gross.
then she went on and she was like, but I get it.
Yeah.
She's like, I go in the opposite direction.
Oh, I think wasn't that the joke?
That might have been the one that
was
she
the
was
joke.
like,
yeah.
She was like, I go for an old daddy. She's like, the older, the better. That's so funny.
I love her, and she looked amazing.
Yeah, she looked great.
I need to talk this is a little bit allegedly, it's not allegedly, it's shit that happened this week with the airlines. I'm concerned about air travel in America. So there's so many stories, but everyone knows about this Alaska Airlines flight that they were literally sitting on the flight and the door blows out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we need to make there's all these videos. People are just sitting there. The masks come down. Well, and so that is horrible. And I'm so glad everyone's okay. And I'm sure that was terrifying. I can't believe no one was screaming. Like, it was just.
They were so scared. They were like paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I found out this week what Alaska Airlines is doing for the people that were on the plane.
$1,500.
$1,500.
Well, did you hear that allegedly the 2 people that were sitting in that middle in a window seat missed their flights? Like, it's literally the plot of Final Destination.
Holy shit.
Like, I don't know what I would do if I were those people. If
they were seatbelted in, they would have been fine.
I don't know. I mean,
but the temperature of that air, like that, was what I was
Well,
confused about.
and
Okay,
then
so
somebody's iPhone flew out and then it landed and it was fine. It flew out of the plane and landed on the ground like 25,000 feet below. And it was just as cracked as my phone has been when I drop it from 2 feet.
Incredible.
no.
Yeah.
I'm just
Honest-
mortified. This is like if Kelty were a CEO of an airline, she would give $1,500. She's notoriously cheap. And Kelty, I thought it had to have been you were also the CEO of Alaska Airlines. What world is $1,500 adequate for any person? For a 4-year-old, that's not enough money. Like what?
No, it's crazy. It's
But
crazy.
it's like 50. What? We couldn't round up to 2?
Why not just fly, give them free flights for the
forever.
rest of their lives? Because
Yeah.
they
That's how
were
much money
traumatized. Although I'm sure
I know,
a
it's like
bunch of them
these-
won't fly again.
No. I mean, these people are going to need like intensive therapy for the rest of their lives. Like that is the scariest thing to happen. That's how much
Well-
money they give you when the flight's overbooked.
When you have a
and
hair
go to
in
your
your
and they're like,
Chipotle.
oh no one, everyone wants to go to Connecticut today. We're gonna hop this up to $1,500.
You're right.
$1,500 going once, $1,500 going twice.
It's disgusting. I'm actually not going to fly them ever again because of how grossed out I am.
I love when you are so Becca.
So there's no Southwest. There's no Alaska
No,
Airlines.
I don't say I'm not flying Southwest again. I have never said I'm not flying Southwest again. I am saying I will hate every second of it, but I will fucking endure, okay? I am
sometimes
brave.
you just got to do it.
I'm resilient. Alaska, I have the reason for Alaska. It has nothing to do with my bravery. It has everything to do with my morals and my,
They need a PR team. It
That's
wasn't working.
wild.
It
And
wasn't
the fact
working.
that went public, like I feel like give them their $1,500 and have them sign an NDA or something. But like these people were like, no, I'm good. Okay, but then I went down airline news of the week,
oh God.
and I have another story for you.
Okay.
There was a flight this week that had some missing windows in it.
Oh.
The missing windows weren't discovered until the plane was climbing at an altitude of 13,000 feet. Quote, several passengers recalled that after takeoff, the aircraft cabin seemed noisier and colder than they were used to, investigators said. A crew member walked towards the back of the aircraft where he spotted a window seal flapping on the left side of the aircraft. The window pane had appeared to slip down. He described the cabin noise as loud enough to damage your hearing. The plane approached 14,000 feet. The pilots reduced speed and stopped their ascent. The engineer and co-pilot went back to take a look, and they agreed the aircraft should turn around immediately.
What is going on?
Airline was this?
I don't know. I didn't write it down, so I'm going to Google it.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know if you saw the TikTok. It's like, I bought a window seat and it was like, just didn't have a window. It was just like the side of the plane.
I've been on those before.
It's like, ouch.
Yeah, I've had that too. That's
Is it the same type of airplane that so the Points guy that like he was saying that he did a whole Instagram reel about the Max 9 or something. It's whatever the Alaska Air.
it was Titan Airways, London to Orlando.
Oh.
Oof.
Are you talking about that line of whatever the Boeing was? It's like there's like 9 of them that
Yes,
had like
and
loose screws.
And he said you can go on and look and see if you're booked on something currently that has that airplane, and you can call the airline and be like, I will not fly on I think it's like the Max something.
Yeah.
Because there's so many problems.
Well, my thing about this, like the whole window panel thing flying out, like Alaska Airlines, is freak accident. For me, how many times have you looked out the window on the airplane and you've been like, this is a goddamn miracle? Like, how did they give me this window? It's double paned, and then you see the condensation, and you're like, well, how's the condensation getting in there if it's so perfectly fit for this aircraft? And then you're like, no, a little bit of moisture's getting in. There's a little bit of something. And then I think when they described it as the window pane had slipped down, like my cell phone when I drop it between the seats, and they're like, don't move the seat, we'll get this for you. Like, I feel like if you're building an airplane, I'm going to need you to design the window panes in a way where they can't just like slip the out. You know what I mean?
They
Like
usually
it just feels
don't.
like
They don't. I mean,
like
This is I don't know what's going on with these airplanes, but I'm like, I don't want to be scared to fly.
I don't
Like, what's
either.
going on?
I just got over that.
I know, me too.
God, sorry.
Okay, let's move from
Let's talk about Kylie again. God.
airplane news.
I'll move on to this. There's an anchor on the Today Show. Her name is Chanel. And she recently did something very brave that I want to talk about. She admitted that she slept with a Cabbage Patch doll till she was 29. till she got married. And
I did not know where this brave thing was going to go.
I didn't either. It was super confusing.
She slept, she had a Cabbage Patch doll on her bed until she got married at 29. And as someone who misses Roxanne every day of my life,
Who's Roxanne?
I too, my Cabbage Patch doll.
Did she come with that name?
She's my parents. What?
Did she come with that name?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
Roxanne.
I don't know. I wasn't really
Very
the Cabbage
80s.
Patch generation.
Me
You
neither.
don't say.
Me neither.
Wait, were they over by the time you bitches were born?
Yeah.
What was your doll?
I had stuffed animals.
American Girl dolls, like a chic ass bitch that I am.
So creepy.
I didn't ever have baby dolls. You know, I didn't
either.
My sister was a big baby doll person. And I think she may have had a Cabbage Patch, but I think they were kind of tapering off at that point.
I mean, I'm only 4 years older than you bitches. So
Yeah,
like,
I bet you it
that's
did
half
taper.
a decade.
That's
I guess so. All right. Coast Guard. Sorry, these are some weird things because Hollywood is like, I honestly I'm sick of you. Too much for award season.
I just want to
there's a
say,
man.
sorry to go back. So the Cabbage Patch Kids craze, they were the most in-demand toy of the 1983 Christmas season. This tracks because
I was one.
Yes. So the craze happened, and then for a couple years, it's like still simmering, it's still in the ether, and then by the time,
and then it was Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, and then it was Tickle Me Elmo. Okay, sorry, go back.
Okay, so a Coast Guard man. The Coast Guard has arrested a man who has built himself a giant hamster wheel, and he's trying to hamster wheel across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh no!
This was the fourth time that the Coast Guard has intercepted this man named Reza. He wants to self-propel his homemade vessel to destinations. He's tried getting to Bermuda. He's tried getting to New York. He's tried getting to London. And honestly, I'm not mad at the machine.
Oh, it looks quite legit.
Oh,
I mean, this is not like Castaway. Anyway, I feel like I know the Coast Guard keeps us safe. Thank you so much, Coast Guard. But should we just let Reza hamster wheel?
That's what I was going to say. What is he arresting him for? Aren't you allowed to be on the open sea?
No, there must be stipulations. Like you can't drive like a red wagon down the interstate. You probably in a sea vessel at certain depths. You must be in a proper vessel.
He needs to register his hamster wheel.
Well, I don't think it would actually pass any sort of
no.
I just what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well,
what will we be known for?
We need some passion. Like that's that guy's passion.
God, I was out in Malibu this weekend. I thought about you, Jack. I thought about our surfing. I was all the way over there. I was like, it is beautiful here. We're going.
Yeah, one day.
Okay. A couple more things, and then I have a couple celebrity things. So I was flying here to LA. My brother's here, which is so fabulous, and I'm so proud of him and so excited we got on this flight, and it was so great. And we're on the flight, and we both took some calm down drugs because it was kind of both stressful. And he looks at me and he goes, I go, what we should get is an emotional support animal. And he goes, I want an emotional support alligator. And I was like, okay, night. And then I went on the internet. Someone does have an emotional support alligator. His name's Wally. He's in Philadelphia. He's super famous. He went and tried to go to the Phillies game and got kicked out. He has a harness. Allegedly, he doesn't bite people. He's 5 feet long.
It's so disgusting.
It's very bizarre he's in Philadelphia. That seems like a weird place for an alligator.
Not a great climate, right? Chilly.
Florida.
And this,
So-
my friends, is why I can no longer travel with Orly on my mother lap, because losers like you tried to make alligators emotional support animals and peacocks and parakeets and monkeys. So thank you very much. I'm so mad that the airlines no longer accept emotional support animals to fly with you. It's only service
That
animals.
alligator. Wally.
So
Fucking Wally.
I hate Wally. I hate his owner. You, Wally.
Wally.
You, Wally. You know
Honestly, you
what?
should get
Now
Cabbage
a
Patch.
small dog in Texas has to travel in a bag, okay? She has to go under the seat in front of me like a peasant because Wally it up for all of us. You a-hole.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. my last story. This is for Becca while she's on a tangy. A little tangy.
tear.
Becca's on a tangy.
She's fired up.
Tear. A lot
Okay.
of trauma that
So-
Orly experienced from going from lap to bag. Bag to lap is
Well,
one
that's the
thing. Lap to
thing.
bag
Well,
is another.
Imagine back in the day when you had to put the dogs in the crates underneath the plane.
I know.
That breaks my heart. And you can hear them yelping
That's what
when
we
you're
had to
at
do
luggage.
with my dog. Yeah, so sad. Back in the day, I don't think you could bring dogs with you at all on the plane.
Nope.
That was the only way.
Well, we're reverting
horrible.
back to that because of
we
Wally.
are.
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk about two quick things. Number one, there's a lawsuit right now. A background actor is suing this actress in this zombie movie
Uh-huh.
because he got kicked in the head and he's on set.
Mhm.
He was playing a dead person. And he says that he was like, please be careful. And she was like, did not take that warning and kicked him in the head and he got a concussion. And he's suing for $250,000.
He's suing the actress or the production?
Unsure.
I would think he would have to be suing the production.
Didn't it say that she kicked him in the head on purpose?
Was it on
Yeah.
purpose?
He's
Yeah.
alleging that she kicked him on the head on purpose because he was like annoying or something.
Mm,
What a weird thing to do.
well, was the
Have you
was there
ever wanted to
choreographed-
kick-
Was it choreographed in what she was doing? There was a kick. Clearly, there was, because he had said to her preemptively, "Watch out for me when you do that kick," or whatever.
I think he was just like, watch out when you jump over me. And I think she jumped over him like a stallion at the horse meet and like just kicked him in the face.
You know, it's the cost of doing business. You want to play pretend. You want to be on a set and play pretend. You can't expect an actor to hold back because you might get hurt. Get out of the way.
I agree.
I agree.
Last thing, Mean Girls movie, yes or no?
No.
I think it's a yes, and I was thinking about this deeply because it seems to be almost word for word the script. I don't know if a lot changed. So
Except for it's a musical, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it a musical?
I think it is.
Well, I feel like something crazy is going. First of all, big fan of Renee, and I think this is going to be great. I haven't seen it yet. It is a musical version, but they're really hoisting us. They're really doing a foolery where they realize people don't actually want movie musicals,
No.
and so
they're not marketing.
So they're not
they're
promoting
not-
it.
they're not promoting it. We haven't seen no musical numbers in any trailers or anything. All we've seen is the lines that we loved from the first Mean Girls.
Yeah.
But like Barbie was
'Cause
a
it's the
had music in it, and it just made billions of dollars at the box office. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Barbie.
Because this is supposed to be the version from Broadway.
Oh, I don't know. This is all very confusing. I'm happy for everybody. It was a great movie. I hope it does really well. But I'm also like, once you've done a movie and then a Broadway musical, like, do we really need to do a movie again if there's not a whole lot that's different? I don't know. It just is an example of Hollywood sucking a little bit. Not that the movie sucks, but Hollywood sucks and nobody takes chances anymore because it's just too expensive to take chances on movies that people don't see. And they don't make the kind of money
Yeah,
that they
100%.
used to. So I get that they're like going back to like the same tried and true, but I'm a little bit like, even I went to see Wonka and I'm sort of like, how many times are we going to do this story? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were creative
I
and they
agree.
made it like the prequel to how Wonka became Wonka. But, and I
But at
thought,
least that's different.
yeah, totally. But I just felt like we can have some fresh stories. Let's get some fresh stories up in here. Also, Timothy Chalamet, not the greatest choice, not the greatest casting choice, just to be honest.
You know what? This is who I think they should have gotten to have play Wonka is Jeremy Allen White.
1,000%.
He looks exactly like, what's his name? Gene Wilder.
Yes.
He looks exactly like him.
They also, and I don't know if looks wise that would have been perfect, but more than anything, they needed someone with a little more quirk. Like Timothy's not quirky or eccentric. He just looks interesting and he's a wonderful actor, but nothing about him is very like wacky,
And also with the Willy Wonka, and this is what it's so true. What made the original Willy Wonka so good is he was like, there was like a sense of dread. Like it was very like unnerving and there's something really creepy about him. And like no other Willy Wonka has like had that like
no
dreadfulness.
You're right.
That's what we need.
You're right. You should be a casting director, Jack.
Thank you.
You really should.
I don't even watch these movies.
Well, it's been great to catch up. Happy for you. Tumbleweeds forever. And we will
see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.